little more lighting.
A little more lighting. We're
A little
recording, dude.
soft light.
We don't want to talk about your light. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 21 of the Geek Dad Report. Yeah, I got you, Ryan.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, man, I told you. I gave you the countdown.
Ah,
We have a countdown. I go like this. It's really technical. I go 3, 2, 1, action. And then we roll.
you didn't do any of that crap. I was over here looking that way, and you're like, "Hey, we're recording. Stop talking about your lights."
Great, thanks. Now
So,
you're making my credibility go on the toilet. I already have like
yeah.
very little as it is, and now you're
You
making
have
it.
credit, or that's just.
I don't know. I like to think that we have credibility. I don't know if we actually do.
I think within a small group of people, we are like very highly revered.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, we have a we got a couple, stalker slash groupie fanboys.
yeah.
So I guess that means
Well,
we're kind of legit.
just all the people that keep coming to my house and looking into my windows, and I just kind of let it happen. It's a new thing for me, so I'm just kind of rolling with it. So
Well, I'd like to say thank you for coming back. Hosting by myself was a very lonely, maddening experience. I think I was
yeah,
slowly starting to slip into crazy town.
you did kind of get a little ranty toward the end.
Well,
So
I already talk too much as it is. Now you're gonna give me a camera by myself for an hour just talking. I already walked
yeah,
that fine line of crazy town,
it's
craziness as
it's
it is.
basically what you used to do in the mirror before we started recording the show. So
No, actually, that last week was kind of an inside little peek into my psyche. It's kind of what I do
yeah.
all the time. I'm constantly just talking to myself. But yeah, it's a weird experience. I'm telling you, stand here. At least like when we do the show, I can see you and I can talk to you. When I'm by myself, I'm literally just staring at myself talking. It's so strange.
That's what was throwing me out. That's why I don't know if I could do a solo show, just because I would just look at myself and be like, God, I look disgusting. I can't do this.
Well, I don't look disgusting, so I guess that's pretty easy.
Sorry, I'm
It's
not
easy.
everyone.
It's easy to stare at myself for an hour. Look how beautiful I am now. No, it was definitely a learning experience. So hopefully, thank you guys for joining us last week, and hopefully you guys had fun and I entertained you. And fingers crossed,
Sorry,
fingers crossed you came back this week
yeah, sorry I was gone. I was gone for 11 days on vacation, so
on vacation.
it was a lot of fun.
Vacation. Was there like a Griswold involved in there?
Um, does my dad count? Yeah,
Sure.
my dad's about as close to Clark Griswold as you can get. I mean, we went to Seattle for 5 days, stayed at my grandparents, and went to Usher syndrome benefits, for my disease. And then we went to Montana for 4 days, and it was awesome because they have 49 acres, like, and you're about 20 miles from the Canadian border. So there's just deer everywhere. So like you wake up in the morning and look down this big meadow, and there's just deer down in there. My dad feeds them.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that way the big bucks come around hunting season, and
Hey, deer are
no,
tasty, people. It's a circle
uh,
of life. Somewhere in the background, Elton John's playing on a loop in
uh,
Montana.
no, my dad hunts legally, like he's supposed to.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. I mean, there's tons of animals, and we just go four wheeling through the woods and you know do all that kind of fun stuff. So it was a fun trip, and I missed you.
I
I
missed you
missed.
too.
I was sitting there on Thursday night, like drinking a beer. Like, ah, Brian's recording all by himself.
It was very lonely.
So,
I mean, I thought about getting one of the other guys to be on the podcast or on the YouTube show, but I don't know. Kyle last time was terrible. I mean, he was awful, just
yeah, he was.
pathetic, just
And he's
horrible.
never gonna watch the show, so we can say anything we
Yeah,
want
I mean,
about it.
he was like a bearded hobo who just. Sorry, Kyle.
So,
I mean,
in case Chris listened to the show and then tells Kyle to listen to it.
yeah. Well, I was gonna invite Chris, but Chris never stops talking. He's worse than me. I mean, he just wants to take over. He just thinks he's the talky talk guy. No, but and then there was Jason. Could have invited Jason, but he was too busy murdering somebody apparently. So I don't know. He was having a murder party. He invited me to
Oh,
it.
that's
I'm
a
not sure if
murder.
he invited me
He
to the
just
murder.
finds, he just finds bodies.
I don't know if he was inviting me to the murder party because he wanted me to help or to be murdered. So I just kind of usually,
Yeah.
I usually send
Or
his emails to junk. Let
when you
hot
go
mail
to his
filter.
house and you gotta stick your hand in the bowl of teeth, then you know. And I think
So
he actually does have a bowl of teeth. I'm
he
not positive.
does. He has a bowl of teeth. So
I know he was working on acquiring a bowl of actual human teeth.
yeah, well, he probably does. Well, so there's a
And
little
and these
inside
are
look
people
into
that
the.
I watch Play Read with, and they're all awesome individuals. I love all of you guys.
Yeah,
So,
we just they like a good ribbing. So no, we're just joking. All you guys are great, but I just kind of want to do it solo and see if I can do it. And I think I did all right. So hopefully there won't be too many more solo shows. But we are glad to have you back, Ryan. Ryan, we're glad to have you. See,
Ryan,
I
oh,
called you Ryan.
it's nice to have myself back on my
Told
show.
you, man. I'm totally. Uh, I'm so used to talking. I was talking to myself, man. I had to
Yeah,
inner monologue it.
I got nothing else to say.
All right, well, Ryan, thank you for coming back to the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created to keep all the busy people in the know and keep their valuable time just that valuable. So, welcome back,
Uh,
everybody, to the Brian
yes,
and Ryan show.
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Oh man, well, I'm glad you made it back safely and weren't eaten by a cougar. We had some bets going.
Yeah, I only saw one bear. It was really
Really?
far away.
Just one?
Hmm. Not a lot of bears out right now. There's a bear den, not a dare ben,
Mm-hmm.
uh, on my parents' property. So, but I don't think it's active. But we saw it when we were like riding through the woods. So,
So any good stories? Any interesting? Any dad stories to tell? Any crazy shenanigans?
um, let's see. Like what that my kids did.
I don't know anything. Anything funny that you'd
It
like to
like
share with the people?
first. I don't know if we really did anything funny. I mean, we built the fort on the first day. I shot a crossbow. I got drunk and smoked a lot of deer jerky. It was just more like a relaxing trip and just kind of hanging out and doing stuff with my parents. My parents, I love them, but they like to fight about stuff like all the time. So
You mean
it's
like
always it's
you
like,
mean like old married people? Like
yeah,
always?
they're like old man, like you overcooked my steak again. Like, damn it, you should know how I like it by now. So then you just kind of sit there like you're 5 years old again, like pushing your food around your plate. Like,
All you do is complain. You never appreciate all the hard work that I do getting that steak.
ugh. But I mean, it was a really fun trip. I had a really good time with my parents and stuff like that. So I don't really have anything funny. We just did around and did a bunch of Montana stuff. You know, fed deer,
I'm very disappointed,
got the
Ryan.
shovel out, and cleared rocks out of the creek. That goes through their property, and made the creek flow a little better. I mean, we didn't. We did a bunch of outdoorsy stuff.
I'm very disappointed. I was really excited to hear about some shenanigan
No, and
tale
then a
of.
bear came on the property, and I jumped on the bear's back, and I slapped it on the butt,
See, now you're
and I
talking.
rolled the bear all the way through the property.
Did you have on your
So
Did you have on your American flag T-shirt
yes,
with the
and
cut off
I
sleeves?
had AK-47 strapped to my back, and
Nice.
I was holding, and I was gripping it with my giant, American thighs that are very muscular. And I was holding two flags in each hand, and,
See,
and like
see,
going
now
through
you're
the
talking. Now you're talking.
yeah,
That sounds like a great trip.
yeah. And
Now I'm
then
sad I
Ronald
didn't go.
Reagan descended from the skies,
See,
and
before I was really glad that I was at home and didn't go on the trip with you. Now I'm super sad I didn't go. It would have been awesome.
you could have you
Badass.
could have total Americana it out.
Did you see
So
that? Did you see Chris Pratt? I don't know. You've been in Montana, but so Chris Pratt, he went on Facebook and he's asking fans to design like a cool banner for him, and they want him to use like all his different movies and stuff. And so I don't know if it's the one they went with, but somebody designed one that's been kind of floating around the internet of Chris Pratt riding a Velociraptor with a machine gun, American flag, dressed as Star-Lord. Dude, it's so awesome. Made me think of that.
I gotta find that.
Yeah. If I can find it, I'll throw it up on the Facebook page. Everybody can check it out. So, well, now you've bored half our audience with your terrible road trip that just involved jerky and family
Sorry,
time.
dude.
Oh,
I'm sorry. We're not the Griswold family. We
God,
don't like.
so
I
terrible.
don't hold security guards, with a gun to get into Wally World. So,
That's the way my vacations go. They're all
oh,
pretty
nice.
cool like that.
Well, that's what happens when your daughter's like that. I
Oh,
mean,
dude, my kids are crazy. Well, I guess we'll just dive into it. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We got a bunch of fun news for everybody. We got some couple cool little topics to talk about. Me and Ryan might introduce some more rants that I guess introduced last week. So we're kind of excited about that. And then recommendations, which I don't know what Ryan has recommended because he didn't tell me. So we did terrible show prep today. Basically, we just got together on Skype and said, we're so happy that we're back together, and we didn't really talk about the show. So,
yeah,
we
we
got
did
an action, we got an
like a lot
action-packed show.
like
Showing you some sweet moves. So, we got the show at the Kung Fu Grip, and the Ninja Stars,
yes,
and news. So I'll just dive right into the news.
definitely
News.
news.
Ninja news.
Sad to start. Oh,
No?
yeah, we have sad news to start it.
Oh. I thought you were making fun of my ninja news. I think I'm going to go with that. From now on, it's ninja news. Yeah.
Just like I have a Den Bear or a Dare Ben.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. All right, so like Ryan was saying, some sad news. Roddy Piper, the world famous WWF, not E, wrestling legend, has passed away this week. He was 61. He had a cardiac arrest, heart attack at his home, apparently in his sleep. So at least he went peacefully.
I think we still have like his little action figure that you can like push his back and he like goes.
Dude, I loved Roddy Piper, man. He was great.
He was good.
Also
He came
known,
out playing the bagpipes.
yeah, he was one of those characters in the 80s that kind of made it awesome for all of us. I think it's kind of WWE or F or whatever they are, Z. Became famous is because he was one of those initial characters that came out when they really started creating these personas that were amazing and larger than life and hilarious. And he was one of the kind of the original ones with Hulk Hogan and all those guys. And he was a lot of fun. He also did. He's also known for his John Carpenter movie. They Live, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had Alien Invasion. It was great. It was a terrible movie.
What
It was really
was
fun.
Rowdy Piper's finishing move?
Was it the pipe? The lead pipe or something?
Yeah,
Maybe it was
pipe
something
out and
else.
wax. What was it?
I don't know. I don't remember. Somebody's gonna call us out on this. I should know this.
I don't know. I was when I was you showed me the news for this week. I was sitting there thinking I should have just Googled it. I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah, we don't really do a lot of research. We basically just glance the headlines and pretend like we know what we're talking about. It works much easier. If we ever
Yeah.
get more than 125 viewers, we will do some, heavy duty research.
Yeah, we'll put in the extra effort.
Put in the extra effort.
Tell your friends to start watching, and we'll put in.
Yeah, so this is your fault, people. If you told
Yeah.
everybody to watch us, we would put in way more effort. But because you don't put in effort, then why should we have to put in effort? I mean,
We would turn on that monetizing button.
yeah, all you guys do is just
Start
click
getting
play
things.
and enjoy yourselves. We have to put in all these hours of work and
Literally hours, because I think
Stuff.
we meet up on Skype and then we start recording like an hour and a half later.
yeah. I think it's
And
partly
then-
because we're friends and we just BS for an hour, but there's a lot. You know what? For all you people who think this kind of stuff is super easy, it's actually quite. There's actually, if you want a decent show, which I don't know if our show is considered decent, but if you want a show, you got to put in some prep, man. It's a lot more work.
Brian makes like a whole giant, like my half of my screen, like this whole half of my screen is a giant detailed list that Brian sent me of all, yeah. And he prints it out.
I didn't print it out.
I'm just lazy. I just pull up my text box and put it right there. But
I don't know what we're talking about. We got derailed.
Rowdy
Piper.
Piper.
So sad news for Rowdy Piper. I don't know.
It sucks to be you, Rowdy Piper.
It does. No, man, he's up in heaven with Dusty Rhodes. He's hanging out. They're doing DDTs on each other. Yeah. So unfortunately, as we get older, some of our heroes grow up and get older, and they die off. And
Is there any WWF guy that you would like actually get sad, like Hulk Hogan?
well, I would have until you found out he was a dirty racist. God, that's some. I don't know if we talked. I don't know if I talked about that last week or not, but apparently, I don't think we've talked about it. He
Yeah,
decided
we
he
put
wanted
it on
to.
the news on the Facebook page that anyone can go and like us at
Yeah,
Geek Dad Report on Facebook.
shameless plug. Yeah, no, I mean, he decided to drop a whole bunch of in bombs
Yeah, he dropped.
describing his daughter's love life. And you know what? Here's what I don't get about people. You know, if you're famous, you got to know that people are going to record the stuff you say, and then they act all shocked that it comes out like 8 years later. It's like, I don't know. I don't know him personally. I can't sit here and say that he's a terrible racist person. I can say he said some terrible racist things, and he unfortunately is paying the price for that. I mean, the WWE has completely cut all ties with him, which is too bad because he's kind of a legend. I mean, he's one of the
Yeah.
reasons WWF is.
It's like he is.
Well, I was gonna say he's kind of the reason why it's there now. I mean, he built this thing, and you know what sucks is as we get older, we find out that like all of our childhood heroes are all assholes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, Mel
I
Gibson.
Mr. Rogers like was if I found out he was like murdering people or something
Yeah,
like that, then
I mean,
that would put me over the edge.
Pee Wee Herman got caught in a porno house doing his business.
Bill
Yeah,
Cosby is
Bill,
a rapist.
Bill Cosby's a horrible, terrible human being.
Poor person.
Serial sex offender.
Horrible.
I mean, come on, man. Bill Cosby, Leonard Six. Are you kidding me? Dirty rapist. Hulk Hogan may or may not be a racist who says horribly racist things. Mel Gibson is a racist. He's
Yeah.
awesome and he's terrible. I mean, I'm afraid to hopefully guys like, I mean, Arnold and well, then Arnold, he was cheating on his wife. He
Arnold
fathered,
had an affair, and he had a
fathered,
kid.
he
He had
fathered
a kid out of the affair, and that
with
kid
his
looked
maid.
just like Vinny Arnold.
I haven't seen him. I just see a picture of him. But yeah, I mean, Stallone, I don't know. He's kind of stayed fairly clean, I guess. I don't know. Van Damme, I heard, is kind of a D-bag.
You know some weird shit on Stallone. That guy is messed up. Like,
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. Wesley Snipes went to prison for not paying taxes. I mean,
yeah.
these guys are all.
Michael Jordan's a big asshole.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. He was all about his family. You find out he's been just cheating on his wife left and right. And he's this total jerk, and all his teammates hated him. And you're just like, I'm afraid to root for anybody. I'm afraid to have anybody as my hero anymore. Ron,
That's
you can be
why
my hero.
we have fictional heroes
Yeah.
that
It's
they
more like
will
Superman.
never.
Superman will
Yeah.
never be corrupted. He's a man.
Except for Bizarro Superman.
Yeah, he's not really Superman, but anyway. But yeah, so if any, probably The Rock. If The Rock, I
Yeah,
think
10 minutes after our first news.
back to your question, would I be devastated if anybody died? Probably. I think The Rock. I'm a huge. He's kind of a newer guy, but I mean, I love The Rock. That guy's awesome.
Dude, when you're finishing a movie, you just go,
Yeah, the people's
and you
elbow.
like run back and forth, and you just put an elbow on somebody,
There's
and that like knocks him out.
there's a reason why he is beloved by everybody, and even his movies that aren't very good make a lot of money because he's awesome. He's just
I
fun.
saw him like when it was in '99, and we went to the WWF was in the Tacoma Dome, and we rode all up there, and it was like getting toward the end of the night. It wasn't like the big, Raw or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the off night ones, and like one of the last two matches was when he was in the Nation of Domination,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Oh yeah,
And he
he's
was
a bad
just
guy.
Rocky Balboa. He was just Rocky, something. We skipped his match
Oh,
because he wasn't big or anything at that time. It's like, oh, who's the last guy going? Oh, The Rock. Oh, screw that guy. Nobody cares about him. He's dumb. So I could have got to see him. When he was
dude,
wrestling,
so-
but we skipped it because we're all like, oh, he's stupid. He's just a heel. And
not to
nobody
talk,
likes.
not to top your story, but I'm going to top your story. So 2 years later, when they had WrestleMania at Safeco Field in 2001, I think it was 2001. I went. Me and my buddy Pat, we went, and we saw The Rock. The Rock faced Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was
Oh,
awesome. It was so cool. I mean, you
yeah.
know it's fake, but you don't care. They put on.
Yeah.
I will say this
It
about
was
the
fun.
WWE. When they do their big events, it is because I've been to like a Monday Night Raw, and then I went to the WrestleMania. That's the only two events I've ever been to. And Raw was fun, but WrestleMania was crazy. Like it was, the showmanship was amazing. I mean, it's up there with any big budget entertainment event ever. I mean, it's so they had Brock Lesnar fighting. Who did he fight? I don't remember. I think he fought Kurt Angle. I think it was Kurt Angle who he fought.
Kurt Angle, yeah, he always came out with all his medals.
Oh yeah, he was still he was kind of at the tail end of his fame back then when they did it, but dude, it was so great. I mean, The Rock and Stone Cold was so awesome.
Dude, you
But
know who's like Stone Cold, like the guy that threw Stone Cold to beers. That dude was accurate.
oh yeah,
Like
because I always hit him
when
right
he
in the
was
hands.
like he would throw him and like Steve Austin would catch him. That dude, like they must have practiced a whole lot.
I remember one
I don't
episode.
think he ever really missed.
Oh no, yeah, he never did. I remember one episode. Stone Cold drove in a beer truck and started hosing
Yeah,
everybody
he like
with the beer.
hooked up the hose,
Yeah, he's like,
sprayed down Vince McMahon.
you know, that's the sad thing is, that show. I feel like I've outgrown it. I don't keep up with it anymore, obviously, but I feel
Oh,
like
I
every.
since like 2000. I think probably since that WrestleMania that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody should go through a wrestling phase, though. I feel like they should
Yeah,
spend at least a year, or maybe two, really following it and just enjoying it because it's a lot of fun at times.
it's fun. It's if you can respect that, it's just stupid fun.
Yeah,
Then yeah, it's that's just exactly what it is. Like just us talking about, we weren't even friends at that time,
I
but we
know.
have all these shared, memories of,
Oh yeah,
watching. So,
but
you
yeah, I
know,
mean, Ultimate Warrior. I was a big fan of the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, I think he already
we
died
used to paint
though.
our faces like on Sunday
Yeah,
morning when my family discovered WWF, we stopped going to church.
nice.
We would like paint our faces and stuff
That's
like that,
awesome.
like jump off the couch and do pile drivers on each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I really
And
liked I don't know Jake the Snake. He
yeah,
was
I
cool.
like the Bushwhackers.
The
You
Bushwhackers,
know,
Legion of Doom. They were great.
yeah, dude, Undertaker when he first came out was
Oh,
creepy
super
as hell.
scary. So was
He would he
Kane.
would like freak me out when I was a kid.
Undertaker's brother Kane, when he first came out, was pretty horrible.
Wasn't that the Big Show? Or
No, Big
no?
Show was different. I mean, he came out too,
Yeah,
but he.
yeah. Kane was like a different guy.
Yeah, Kane was Undertaker's brother, who
Razor Ramon.
he supposedly like killed when he was a kid, lit him on fire in a building, but he
Yeah.
lived. His face is all messed
He
up.
like became friends with Razor Ramon, the guy that would like always have
The
the
razor
two
in his. Oh
mouth.
yeah. Oh yeah, the terrible like Jerry curl. That dude like went through. He had like I saw some like behind the scenes thing on him. He had some like a horrible drug addiction and had to go to like rehab all these times. It was terrible.
That doesn't surprise me.
But no, so I mean, yeah, I used to have the wrestling games. They were a lot of fun. I don't know, wrestling.
Dude,
Obviously.
always fun games. I would like Mankind
Oh, dude, Mankind was crazy. Oh,
and
some
Mr. Sacco.
yeah, he had like Nick Foley, Mankind, Mr. Socko. Remember
Cactus Jack.
him and The Rock were together. They were the Rock and Sock connection.
Yeah, the Rocket Sock connection.
That was awesome. But
Dude,
I don't
and
know.
Cactus Jack was pretty good too. I like Cactus Jack
All
when he
right,
was Cactus Jack.
we should probably move on, or else we'll literally talk
Oh
about
yeah,
wrestling
how
all
long
night
have we gone on? Just
23 minutes, so we're gonna have to blow through the news. So, some wrestling related news. Stephen Amell, the Arrow, has been he's a huge wrestling fan. Well, it's kind of been playing off of who is it? Goldust. Him and Goldust have had kind of a fake feud for a while that all of a sudden has turned into a real feud, and now Stephen Amell is going to be appearing this Monday on Monday Night Raw to face
I won't watch
Goldust.
it.
So I'm sure it's all promotional, obviously. I'm anxious to see if he shows up as Green Arrow because they keep making Green Arrow references. So I think it'd be kind of a fun
Yeah,
thing if he showed up as Green
I'll
Arrow.
wait for the 30-second YouTube clip.
Yeah, well, yeah, I probably won't watch it either. But if you're a big wrestling fan, it's always fun to see the stars kind of go. Stephen Amell, I follow him on Facebook and Twitter. He's really excited about it, so he's been talking about it and he can't wait. But he's
If you
Canadian,
got a
so
chance, like if we got super big and everybody wants to be a part of the Geek Dad before,
Oh
I would
yeah.
totally go
Oh yeah.
on a thing and just get like, oh, have him hit me with a chair or
Oh
something.
yeah. They're like, you guys got to go on and commentate during the show. It'd be great. I'd totally love to. Yeah, I get power bombed by one of those guys. Only if I get
Yeah.
hurt too much, but but he's Canadian. Stephen Emile. Canadians just love wrestling. I'm not sure why, but they just love it up there. So,
Awesome.
um, yeah. So there's your wrestling. There's your weekday Geek Dad wrestling update. So some real news.
Wrestling.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to. All right. Well, we're. I'm just gonna start blowing through some of these. Here we go. We got a couple we'll talk about, but I'm just gonna start talking about some of this stuff here. Bad
Go.
Boys 3 and 4. If you're a big fan of Bad Boys, you are gonna get 2 more movies. They're
Boy, bad
They
boy.
have release dates of February 17th, 2017 and July 3rd, 2019. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence have not been confirmed yet to reprise their roles, but my guess is I don't think Sony would move on with 2 more sequels without their 2 main leads. So,
Well,
not more than that's been confirmed, but if you're a big Bad Boys fan, which I like the Bad Boys, they're fun. It's a fun franchise.
it was a fun movie.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun franchises. They're not going to be directed by Mr.
Old guys.
No, who am I thinking of? Blows up everything. Armageddon.
James Cameron.
No, Transformers. Michael Bay. Thank God.
Michael.
I love Michael Bay. I can't believe I forgot his name. So, as far as I know, they're not going to be directed by Michael Bay. They will get new directors. That's only kind of changed, but I'm sure they'll be fine. As long as you have those 2 guys, it'll work. Let's see what else we got here. Channing Tatum has been in the news a lot lately. I reported last week that he supposedly signed a deal to do Gambit months ago. Everyone's kind of talked about it. Well, last week it was announced that the deal might be falling apart. No one knew why, but he might be walking away. After the show aired last week, he apparently signed his deal with Fox to do it. So I guess the hang-up was Fox, with Hugh Jackman leaving, they wanted a big-name actor to kind of be their tentpole character for the mutant franchise. And Channing was like, nope, I just like Gambit, and I don't want to be an X-Men. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like he's been inked for a whole bunch of movies, but I'm sure there's going to be probably sequels and a few things involved with it. So, whatever they did made both parties happy, and he's officially going to be Gambit. So, you're a Gambit fan, or
Not Wolverine style Gambit, trying to,
no?
which is fine with me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rather Fox just stop making movies altogether.
Yeah. Well, they need to stop making Marvel movies, and but
Well,
we'll see. Deadpool looks kind of good. There's a trailer for Deadpool. They came out a little while ago. Me and Ryan. It got leaked at Comic-Con. We talked about it a little bit, but now the actual HD version that everybody can see is out. The red band. We got it up on the Facebook page if you had a chance to watch it. There is an edited version, but it's not even halfway. If you're watching the edited version for Deadpool, I don't know why you're watching it, because you're not going to watch Deadpool.
yeah, the red band version it's so good.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait for that movie. I want to see that movie 500.
There's this meme floating around from that we're going to talk about here in a second that I got to remind me to tell you. But yeah, no, it looks really good. If you haven't had a chance to, if you didn't watch the Comic-Con version, even if you did, maybe check out this one. You actually get to see it in HD, and it actually makes a big difference, because when I saw it in the non-HD bad audio quality,
Seems like they made a little bit of tweaks
yeah, they did.
from what they showed at Comic-Con. So
They did. The trailer's a lot more streamlined, and it's kind of faster paced. It moves faster, and I don't know. I think we've talked at length about it. I think Deadpool's going to be great. I mean, I think it's going to be a bad movie, but I think it's going to be a highly entertaining one, and I think that's what they're going for. So I think it'll be fun. A movie that I don't think is going to be fun, and pretty much nobody thinks it's going to be fun, is Fantastic Four. Speaking of Fox, and why they shouldn't be making any Marvel movies like we just talked about with, hopefully Gambit won't be bad, but the reason why we don't trust Fox at this point is because of movies like Fantastic Four. It currently, right now, on Rotten Tomatoes,
gave it like the worst movie of all time.
yeah,
kinda.
our reviewers were not pleased. We'll, if you don't follow us, you should be following us hopefully on our website, watchplayread.com. But if you're not, I'll probably post Caitlin or Kyle's review up on a Facebook page too, so you guys can check it out. But right now, currently on Rotten Tomatoes, Fantastic Four has 9%.
Nah.
That is out of 100 if you're not familiar with Rotten Tomatoes. The original, well, not the original, but the 2005 version of Fantastic Four, which everyone says is a terrible movie, got a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. Um,
I hope this thing does so bad. I mean, I
so
feel bad for the actors because obviously they put their time and effort into it.
yeah, and
But
they're generally a pretty good cast. I mean, they're good actors. I like each of them individually as actors. I think they do a good job. So, and I kind of feel bad for them because I feel like when they signed on for this, they felt like they were getting into they were getting into this crazy comic book,
mm,
genre where everybody's gonna love them. And recently they were tweeting out they did an interview with Kate Mara, one of the stars in the movie, and she was talking about how they were at Comic Con and they decided like, okay, let's get the full experience. Let's get a cup of coffee. Let's just brave the crowds. If people rush us, no big deal. And they said they walked down on the floor and nobody recognized them. Nobody said hi to them. Nobody said anything. And I almost felt kind of
uh,
bad for them. And I understand that there's like 150,000 plus people at this convention, so it's easy to get lost. And it's not like they're huge A-list celebrities, but still, if people were excited for this movie, they would probably have noticed them. And I felt
yeah.
bad because I think they really were excited to be part of this comic book experience, and unfortunately, their movies, is going to be one of the ones that goes down as one of the worst movies ever made.
And the guy from Chronicle is never gonna get to make a movie ever again.
Oh my god! So apparently he just tweeted out today that where is it at? That he had a cut a year ago that people would have loved, and,
Yeah.
and then he immediately deleted it because. I mean, I think we're starting to see why Disney basically let him out of his deal to direct a Star Wars movie. I think you're seeing the friction. There was a lot of reshoots that apparently he didn't authorize, and I mean, clearly something went wrong there. I think Kyle mentioned earlier today on our chat, one of our reviewers, that he was actually surprised that Fox even released this movie. That they could have just scrapped it and taken the insurance and
Called it a loss.
called it a loss because I
But
mean
they're just banking on that the comic book people are gonna come see it no matter what.
I
And
think so, man. But this is just word of mouth. I have not seen this bad
I
of
haven't
reviews for
heard any,
something.
like zero word of mouth.
I haven't heard anybody say anything positive about it. Which usually you can at least find one fanboy or somebody who kind of like it's there's even the people who like to go against what critics say just to be contradictory. They even them are just like, nah, this movie's bad. It's terrible. I mean, I will say this: there is some. You want to laugh? There are some hilarious memes floating around on the internet right now of the Fantastic Four. I was posting a few of them on my Twitter account. I saw one right before we got on the air that had in the like I said the Deadpool meme. So in the Deadpool trailer, there's a part where it shows Wade Wilson's face all burnt up, and his friend is kind of cracking jokes back and forth about
You
his
look like
face.
an avocado that had sex with an
Old,
older
old
avocado.
avocado, exactly. And he's like, exactly. So the meme says, "You just look like you saw Fantastic Four," and at the bottom he says, "Exactly."
It's
Oh,
good.
oh yeah, it's bad. So I mean, I guess the only good news if you're a Fantastic Four, I mean, there's no immediate good news if you're a Fantastic Four fan, but the overall maybe good news is that there's no way this is not going to go back to Marvel at this point. I mean, Fox has completely tainted this franchise, and there's no way they can recoup their money at this ever down the road. So for them, there's really no reason to hang on to this property. So my guess is that they'll probably Monday be on the phone with Marvel and Disney trying to broker some kind of a deal to sell back to them for for whatever they can get for it before the expires. The sad news is from what I'm hearing from people who have seen this is that this movie is so bad that even Marvel may have to shelve it for a little while before redoing it so people can kind of forget about this movie. So,
Well, if the thing is though, if Marvel gets like we said on Watch Play Rechat, that
mhm.
if they get it back, then they get a lot of like the Galactic.
And I think that's why Marvel would do a
They
deal.
can tie that in with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, in fact, Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn's been on record multiple times saying that he had to cut out certain things that he wanted to put in Guardians because they were rights that are held by Fox because of the Fantastic Four franchise. And I think you're right, and I do think that's why Marvel would do a deal right now with Fox if they got on the horn with them, just because they want those characters. I mean, Marvel's really moved into their cosmic stuff, and Galactus would be the Skrulls are a huge villain in the Marvel universe that they can't use right now. You could get Silver Surfer back. There's a lot of characters that you could get back and a lot of things you could do. So, and not just that, Fantastic Four is one of their oldest properties, and I can't imagine that they, want somebody else. I don't think Marvel wants anybody else having any of their properties at this point, but it would be nice to see him go back. Last bit of a little bit fantastic news that's kind of funny. I mean, Fantastic Four news that's kind of funny is, so on my show last week, I'd mentioned that Bryan Singer had been talking a crossover with Fantastic Four, that people had talked to him, and he's like, yeah, something that could definitely be in the works. We've worked out some ideas for it. And so today, the producer of Fantastic Four and the X-Men, I forget his name, Simon something, he came out and was saying, oh, no. They're in two separate, they're in parallel universes. So, we can't do crossover.
They don't exist.
They are already distancing themselves from this franchise before it has even released. So it's,
It would not screen for critics in a lot of markets,
Really?
and
Wow.
I should say a bad sign. So
Yeah. So so if you're excited for Fantastic Four, go see it. Let us know if everybody else is wrong. But from what we're hearing, you were going to be massively disappointed.
tell us how much money you wasted.
Yeah, so some other great Fox news because they're just awesome and love to just tee off on them. Some real quick stuff. Prison Break, anybody's a fan of that show, I never got into it, but they're doing another 10-episode revival season, kind of, like what they're doing with the X-Files. That's both the brothers are coming back. It's kind of in pre-production right now. They're still trying to get it, the okay from Fox, but they're working on the scripts, and they expect it to go direct to series, so we'll see. 24 is getting remade, but is going forward without Jack Bauer. They're going to cast all new characters, which, I don't know. I only watched one season of 24. It's way too intense, and
Watch zero.
so, I don't know. More 24 counterterrorism units are going to be out there without Jack. I doubt it's going to do well, but who knows. Fox knows what they're doing. Speaking of great shows that are going to do well, Minority Report, TV show, and further... They announced today that they are going to not be incorporating Tom Cruise's character at all. Obviously, no one thought Tom Cruise was going to show up on the show, but his character might since he was such a huge part of the original movie. But they have no plans to incorporate his character at all. Sounds like Fox. Everything we've seen in the movie, the show looks like it's going to be bad, but I don't know. They just recast one of their main characters. That's always a good thing to do right before the show airs. The one thing they did do that was kind of cool that I approve of is they renamed the Washington Redskins in their TV show the Washington Red Clouds instead, which is a homage to an Indian chief. I believe that the Redskins name needs to be changed because Dan Snyder is jackass. Yeah. I feel like the Redskins should change their horribly racist name, but that's just me. So I guess it's one nice thing Minor Report did. Hopefully Dan Schneider watches it, the owner of the Redskins, and says, hey, they got a good point. Little X-Files stuff. Mulder and Scully apparently have broken up before the show airs, so anybody who was hoping to see them rekindle some more hot Mulder and Scully agent action is not going to get it. But apparently early reviews of the first couple episodes that have come out, that people have been able to screen are really positive. People really like it, say it's good. So the last bit of Fox news that I want to mention because they're stupid and I hate them. No, I don't hate all Fox, but they are trying to get a X-Men TV show going. Just there's no chance that it'll be good.
Not the animated show from the 90s.
Yeah,
I don't care.
If they want to get the animated show back, I'm all for that. But let's be honest, a live-action X-Men show done by Fox has zero chance of being good. And the one main hurdle right now is that they have to get Marvel's approval to do it because Marvel has all the TV rights for everything.
Suck it, Fox.
I have a feeling they seem to feel like something's going to get done. I have a feeling that this might be the deal that gets everything but X-Men back to Marvel. Might be one of those things like, all right, we'll take back Fantastic Four, we'll take back everything but the X-Men, and you can have your terrible TV show that no one's going to watch. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to watch it because of X-Men. But I don't know. No details out. Obviously, the show has been greenlit. Like I said, they're still in negotiations with Marvel. So hopefully, Marvel, unless you can get something really good, just tell them no. Let's see here. What else we got? A couple last little things real quick. Colin Farrell has been cast as a wizard in the new Harry Potter spin-off series, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Not a lot of information about his character, but apparently he's a wizard from New York. I'm not really sure, but he's one of the main characters. So,
I'm not a Colin Farrell fan, so He looks like a guy that always has like he should always have stink lines coming off him.
He does. I like him in some
Every I
things and don't
call him,
like him in other
that's what I
things.
think. Like, where is his stink lines?
His eyebrows are just ridiculous, but I like Colin. I mean, he's an alright actor, but I don't really care. I'm excited. I like the Harry Potter books and the movies. I think they'll be fun. So we'll see. Robert Downey Jr., no surprise, is Hollywood's top paid actor of 2015. This is the second year in a row. Did you knock your mic over again? You got this cool fancy mic. We ritualistically murdered your old microphone, and now you're trying to kill your new one. Way to go, Ryan.
Right here.
It's right there. It's so pretty. Robert Downey Jr. has already made how much money has he made already this year, Ryan? What are you doing? You doing karate?
I move my arms a lot under the view of the camera, so
Well, I'm trying to do a bit here. Okay, well, you know what? You screwed. Robert Downey Jr.'s made $80 million this year already. So
good job.
He's rich as shit. So if you need a loan, call Robert. He's got cash. Joe Dirt 2, if you didn't know it was released, has been released on Crackle. I don't know. It's like an app.
It's from Yahoo. If
Is
you
it from
didn't
Yahoo?
know.
Is that Yahoo's deal? So they made a Joe Dirt 2, and it's Crackle's #1 rated or viewed movie of all time. So I haven't watched it yet. Maybe I'll watch it, give a review on it. I loved the first one. I think it's just terribly awesome, but if I do, I'll let you know. If you want to see Joe Dirt 2, it is currently streaming for free on Crackle. Craven is rumored to be the new Spider-Man reboot movie villain. So
Which one's Craven?
Craven is the hunter. He has like the big fur, and he harnesses like all the power of the animals. You know, he's actually been a pretty cool comic villain for Spider-Man over the years, and actually, I'd be happy if this rumor's true because it'd be something different that we haven't seen yet, which would be kind of fun. So, anyway, it's all rumor. Who knows? Apparently, it's rumor because the producer of Spider-Man apparently was buying a whole bunch of Craven comics. So take that with a grain of salt.
What are the people not like pay attention to these days?
Dude, I don't
like,
know.
Oh, hey, there's the Spider-Man 2. There's the Spider-Man guy. I'm gonna follow him into a comic book store and pay attention to everything he does.
You know, if we ever are famous for any reason whatsoever, we're gonna send people just on wild goose chases. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm gonna like go like divorce lawyers and just be like, "Is Brian getting divorced?" And I'm like, "Nah," you know, just for fun, just all kinds of weird stuff.
Why would you divorce me?
I don't know. Brian and Ryan have gotten a divorce. They split. They go to like there's like talk show host counseling that we could go to.
Yeah, you can have half of everything, Brian. It's okay.
I wouldn't say actually. I don't think we're a talk show host. We're more like a variety show.
Yeah,
sure
we offer a lot of different things.
We offer all kinds of things. We're kind of like the Hour of Epic Awesomeness show. That's what I like to. I think that's what we should rename the show. Let's see what else I got here.
It's gonna be
good.
Nah.
Oh yeah, I do. I got some good stuff here. Halo 2. I lost my second page. I was stalling people. Halo Wars 2 has been announced by Microsoft. I've been trying to get you to play Halo Wars for a while on Xbox. It is a real-time strategy game. If you didn't play the first one, highly recommend the first Halo Wars on 360. I'm guessing it's going to be one of the games that's going to be backwards compatible in September when Xbox One rolls out their update. But Halo Wars 2, we didn't know if it was going to get done. A lot of us who are fans kind of gave up hope, but it looks like it's going to happen, and I am very excited. So, Sherlock 3 is in the works. Apparently, they're working on a script right now. They're kicking it around, and Robert Downey wants to make more than $80 million this year, so he's on board. And Jude Law said,
$80 million is not enough money.
Yeah, it's not enough. That's just this year, people. I mean, he's got bills to pay.
Yeah, he needs to get a bad cocaine habit again so he can blow it all.
Oh, he's a good actor. We don't need him on the sauce again. But yeah, so it's in the works. Nothing concrete yet, but it looks like it might be a go. I enjoyed the movies. It'd be fun to see in a third one. The Hobbit extended trilogy is coming to theaters, so if you already didn't feel that The Hobbit was long enough, I think it was already kind of extended when they released it, but whatever.
It was the extended editions of Lord of the Rings are kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
If you like a 4-hour movie.
Whatever. I still got to watch the extended version of Lord of the Rings. I will not be watching the Hobbit extended version. I'm just going to say that right now. Dragon Ball Z, I talked a little bit last week. Dragon Ball Z, somebody asked if Dragon Ball Z would be when it was coming to America, and we talked a little bit about well, I talked a little bit about last week, and the fact that they are releasing a movie here in the States, Dragon Ball Z: Return of or Resurrection of Frieza. And then I kind of speculated that if it did well, it's possible that the Japanese show would be, brought over to the United States sooner than later. Well, if that's the case, then it's good news, man. They released it. It's only on, well, here they released it on Tuesday, and it's already made about $5 million as of today. So that doesn't seem like a lot of money, but what you got to realize is they only released it in theaters. Each theater that's showing it is only showing it once on one screen. So it's not showing all day. It's getting one showing, and apparently a lot of multiplexes have been sold out. A lot of big cities, you cannot get a ticket to go see this movie. So I mean, it's already blown away the initial, estimated dollar amount that Japan thought they were going to make. It's estimating in its 2-week run that it's going to make $20 million, which is a ton of money considering it's only showing on 900 screens across the U.S.
Yeah.
It already made $52 million in Japan. It was the largest opening in Japan.
Sheesh.
So, needless to say, Dragon Ball Z is alive and well. If you haven't watched Dragon Ball, I don't know. It's always a good time to start. It's a fun property.
It's a lot of guys standing around screaming.
It is, but it's a fun property. But if you're a big
Super
Dragon Ball Z fan, this is all good news.
Yeah.
Destiny players, if you're playing Destiny, well, then you've helped log in over 2 billion hours. Destiny players.
So I know 1 billion of it is yours.
No, only like 150, 70, 80 hours is mine. And the last little bit of news, it's a lot. So if you're not playing Destiny, there's a lot of people. If you want to hop on, there's still a lot of people playing it. And the last little bit of news we got for you guys is that Lexus has unveiled their first working hoverboard.
Woo!
It only works for 10 minutes, and you have to fill it full of liquid nitrogen. But there's a video out there. I'll try and get up on the Facebook page of a guy riding it, and it actually works. It works. It's a functioning
Is he
hoverboard.
wearing the right sneakers?
I don't know. I don't think he's got those cool Nikes on, but whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's the news, people. Woo!
Yeah, that went very fast.
Well, it actually went pretty fast if you take out the 25 minutes of wrestling talk that we had this week.
Can't help myself. Nobody wants to talk wrestling in my house. My kids don't care. My wife could care even less.
See, like I said, we did no show prep today. You should have told me you like wrestling so much, and we could have. I would have known, and we would have.
Dude, I was hardcore.
Well, I was too. See, you learn stuff about your co-host every day. We're gonna talk later about wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are we talking about next? What's our next topic? Questions. We're gonna do questions. We're gonna mix it up a little bit today. So instead of topic of the week, we don't really have a topic this week. We're gonna do questions.
I said we had a good gold star one this week too.
You want to start with the gold star question?
Yeah, let's start off with the gold star.
All right, let's start with the gold star. I gotta pull it up here. Where's it at? There it is. All right, so the gold star question of the night goes to, drum roll, Josh. 2 weeks in a row, Josh. This is your second gold star. Congratulations. It was actually a pretty close race. There's some pretty good questions we're going to answer in a minute. But, Josh, you took home the gold medal. We salute you. So Josh's gold question of the night is, so with Marvel and Star Wars being such a big deal in modern pop culture, I'll hold up here so it doesn't look like I'm reading down the whole time. What other nerd things are now socially acceptable that... Let's see, hang on. What other nerd things might be socially acceptable now that weren't in the past? And what other nerd things... I'm going to start over again. I totally butchered this question. There we go.
You don't have to start over. The people...
All right. I'm going to start...
It's just fine.
Stop it.
You butchered it. You did what you did to it. And now you have to live with it, and your brother is going to have to beat your ass or something. I don't know. But...
What? You cut out there. I couldn't hear what you said. I'm going to read the question, though. I hope that's what you're talking about. I'm going to read it. So with Marvel and Star Wars being such a big deal in modern pop culture, what other nerd things might be socially acceptable now that weren't in the past? And what other nerd things are still uncool? Look at that, dude. That's what you call nailing it. Damn.
Yeah, you see all the stuff I was doing while you're looking down and reading.
I did. I saw. I have eyes on the top of my head. Can't see them, though.
Yeah. You're a dad.
I'm a dad.
What was the question?
Really? All that? You didn't even hear the question? My brother wants to know, Josh from Virginia.
Let's say
he wants to
I
know,
would probably say
What?
I don't know, it's hard because if like Magic the Gathering is that cool now?
Well, let's start with let's start with he had two parts to his question. What used to be uncool but is cool now, and then what is still uncool that used to not be cool and still not cool. So I'm
I
gonna say
say playing like tabletop games
is
is probably that used to be uncool, but it's kind of cooler now.
I'm gonna say pretty much all geek properties in general. Star Trek. I feel like Star Trek is still kind of regarded
No,
uncoolly.
it's not cool.
Yeah, Star
It's
Trek.
still super nerdy.
Well, I think talking about Star Trek isn't the same. Like when you say Star Wars, people are like, "Hey, this guy's cool." You say Star Trek, they're
Yeah.
like, he's not uncool." But if you're like, "Hey, I'm
And
gonna dress
kind of
up,"
a dork. Like that's the reaction you get for Star Trek.
well, I feel like Star Trek cosplay is still unacceptable. I feel like you can
Yeah,
dress up like Boba Fett and everyone's like, "That's awesome," but the moment you show up as like a Vulcan, people are just like, "That nerd, that guy."
yeah. And when you talk Star Trek, you still don't really you don't talk about the original series or Catherine Picard. That's like what a
Yeah.
lot of people still focus on. I mean, there's still a lot of other good captains, like Janeway and
Hmm.
Seiko and all those guys. But yeah, Star Trek, I think it still has the negative, even with the movies that came out.
Hmm.
It's still kind of like too nerdy for people.
I think wearing nerd shirts now is cool. I think that didn't used to be as acceptable. I think it's much more mainstream now. I think I think admitting that you like things from the '80s wasn't cool back then, but it's cool now. I think cartoons. I think watching cartoons. I think our wives still think it's nerdy or dorky, but you know.
Yeah, and I think like card games, like trading card games, like Pokemon and all that stuff. You
Hmm.
know, that's like kids are like my son just kind of started getting into that, and a lot of kids at his school do it. And I live in Utah,
Yeah.
of all places. So for trading like Pokemon and that kind of stuff to be pretty popular like it is, I think it's pretty.
I th-
And that's just like a gateway drug. If I
yeah.
can get
Yeah.
them into that, it's like then we can start playing Magic.
You know what?
Like,
I
yeah,
think here's one thing I've kind of noticed too. I think people still feel like I think knowing about comic books is cool. I think people catching you going to comic book shops and reading them is still not cool.
yeah. I people would rather go to Wiki
Yeah.
and just learn like the basic info that they need, so they can be knowledgeable.
Hmm.
But then they don't want to actually like go buy the comics or.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have tablets and stuff now that have you can get it digital. No one gonna be looking through your iPad.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I still
Oh,
buy trade paperbacks. I don't buy my single issues really anymore. I basically just buy them either collected editions or I'll buy I'm on my iPad. But when people catch me reading comics, they're still occasionally like, oh, look at you. I mean, I think everyone kind of accepts now that I'm a geek, so no one gives me any grief about it. But I still think reading actually physically open comic book, people still kind of eh.
yeah, I mean, when I was staying at my grandparents, I read a lot of Hellboy
Hmm.
on my tablet, on my wife's tablet, and because my daughter broke my tablet, and I was sitting there, my grandma was like, she didn't even know what I was. She's like, "Oh, you're playing your tablet?" Yeah, reading Hellboy at my grandma's house. Don't want to show her, what this is like, but yeah, I think there's still that fine line. Like, there's a lot of people that want to be knowledgeable about geek culture, but
Hmm.
then they don't really want to like have to actively go out and buy comic books.
Yeah, well, and I
You know,
think, and I think, to be fair, I don't think my brother said Marvel and Star Wars is now cool. I think parts of it, like the movies, are cool. Saying you like Star Wars, wearing a T-shirt, still cool. Being able to say what every name of every Jawa was, is still not cool. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
people, if you,
Extremes. There's the people that are on this end, and then there's people that are on that end, and then there's the whole swath, in the middle.
yeah,
So
I mean, it's cool to be, it's cool to have a fun little lightsaber and just doink around with it on a show. But if everybody I go to say "May the Force be with you," and I mean it like seriously, they would probably consider me still a nerd. So, the other thing I think we've answered most of this question. But the other thing I think MMOs sometimes still have a little bit of a nerdy kind of geeky undertone to it. I think people when say they play World of Warcraft, people are still like, oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah. Uh, I I have a stigma against people that play World of Warcraft because
See?
the first thing that pops in my head is 12-year-old douchebag.
Yeah.
But
Or a 42-year-old guy who hasn't seen the sun in 10 years. But I don't know. There you go, Josh. Some of the things are still considered that were considered dorky back in the 90s are still considered dorky now. It's just you got to
yeah,
it's the way you
it's
go
just
about it that makes
you just
all the
won't get
difference.
punched for it or like duct taped, you know, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Wear a cool Star Wars shirt. Don't carry around a 2 foot tall Darth Vader doll.
Hmm.
You know, play Destiny on Xbox. Don't play World of Warcraft in your grandma's basement. It's all about, you know, how people perceive it.
These are life facts brought to you by Brian
These are
West.
life facts. Well, and Ryan Thomason,
Yeah.
the Brian and Ryan show. All right, so that was good job, Josh. That was a good gold star question of the night. Let's just see here. Chris from Washington wants to know, with all the advancement in 3D technology and Hollywood's obsession with remaking classic movies, isn't it about time they remade the classic 1972 film Deep Throat and converted it to 3D? I believe he's talking about the one of the original porno films from the 70s.
Yes. I think that's actually like the original porno film, isn't it? I've never seen. I actually still haven't even seen Deep Throat. I don't know what.
I have not either. That one and Debbie Does Dallas was kind of the ones I always heard about growing up as the original porn films. The reason why they have not remade it, they probably have remade it. I'm not really up to date on all
Yeah.
the porn
I'm
industry right now.
sure you could Google it, and there's probably a parody or something on it.
And let's
Uh,
be honest, as far as 3D goes, do you really want to see a porno in 3D? I'm not sure that I want to see. I don't sure I want to be diving out of the way when stuff is kind of like flying at you. I mean,
I don't like 3D anyways, so
it makes my
uh,
eyes hurt. Now it's really gonna make my eyes hurt when I get poked in the eye by a big giant 3D wang.
I think if you're waiting for your next evolution in porn, Chris, you're probably gonna have to wait for like virtual reality or
Yeah,
something
that
like
might just
that.
get messy.
Yeah.
Fembots. I don't know. So
Thanks,
yeah,
Chris.
I don't know. I'm sure they've remade it. I'm sure if you were to Google Deep Throat remake, you'll probably find a few of them.
You'll find something. The internet's got a lot of weird crap on
Yeah, or you got an iPhone, make your own.
it.
Still doing 3D. All right. And our last couple questions of the night. Didn't have a ton of questions tonight, but we appreciate everybody submitting one. Philip, after taking a week off because he was in the woods, apparently, I don't know, hiding or doing whatever he was doing in the woods, he has come back with two
He was
questions.
on the other bear
He was
with me in Montana.
he was riding the one you were riding with the American flag. He was riding with the other American flag.
Right in next to me. Me and
Nice.
Phil.
All right, so Phil weighs in with two questions. The first one is if Wile E. Coyote can afford all that Acme stuff, why not just order KFC food instead of trying to catch the Roadrunner?
Dude, that's what I don't understand. Like, is he even paying? He would fill out a form and mail it to Acme, and they would just, drop it from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have like a preferred buyer's account or something like that? How is he paying for all this stuff?
I don't know. Credit cards? Well, I mean, to answer your question, the reason why he doesn't just buy a bucket of KFC is because the show would be
That's
over
like
in like
chicken,
5 seconds. I mean, no one would watch it. Why would we watch the coyote just eating chicken? It was boring. It's much funner to watch a TNT explode on his head that just goes or strap a rocket to his back.
My son, who is 7 years old, will laugh his freaking ass off watching anytime, like just like the head blows, like you said, and the thing blows up and his face is all burnt up. My son is like laying on the ground laughing because it's like the most hilarious thing to ever. Or like he'll be running and like going off the cliffs and like stopping. And
Oh yeah, I
my
mean,
loves it.
dude, the Looney Tunes are hilarious, man. They're great, but no, I mean, also feel like you don't ask questions like that because then you start asking, then you just ask more. It's a never-ending rabbit hole.
You gotta get deep Man, then you're gonna look over and there's a spinning top next to you, and
Yeah, because if you say, well, why couldn't you just buy a bucket of chicken? Well, why couldn't you just buy a high-powered rifle with a laser sight and a super scope and just?
I think he tried that.
Why couldn't he bought a car and just ran him over? There's all kind of things that he could have bought and that didn't. So we're gonna say that coyotes are stupid, and they have an affinity towards having themselves explode all the time and fall off rocks. So I don't know. Maybe he's got some weird like fetish where he just falls on rocks all day long. I don't know. He's got a weird cliff fetish. He likes to fall off cliffs. It makes him happy. Who knows, man? I don't know, Phil. Sorry we couldn't give you a solid answer. Our answer
Yeah.
is that whoever wrote Looney Tunes was they wrote them in the '60s. There's a lot of drugs being done in the '60s, so that's probably why. I don't know. Was Looney Tunes was '60? I think that was the '60s, maybe late '50s.
Looney Tunes been around for quite a while.
All right, well,
Oh,
I'm gonna say it was the '60s because it works with the point I was trying to make.
yeah.
Um, let's see here. Phil has well, actually he's kind of technically got three questions here, but his second question is a a marry, screw, kill question. If you're not familiar, anybody who's not familiar with those, basically somebody gives you three options and you pick which one you would marry, which one you would just have sex with, and which one you would murder. So usually it's fun to throw in whatever crazy things you can do. So for this exercise, Phil wants to know who we would murder, screw, or kill between Minnie Mouse, Daisy Duck, and Miss Piggy.
Hmm.
That's easy. I already know who I'd take out.
Say, marry Minnie Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Screw Miss Piggy.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be crazy. Then you want her to go away.
Yeah.
I've seen what she does to Kermit. And then I would kill Daisy.
Well, I'm with you on the Minnie. Minnie is, she's the first lady of Disney, so she'd be an amazing wife partner to have. She would,
She
she's a
would clean
good,
the house, make
she's a good
dinner.
dresser.
Oh,
She's
all
super
the
busy.
stuff you're supposed to do.
She had, Jesus, great. So you can send your hateful emails, Caitlin, to Ryan at Big Bruiser. No, they I would, Minnie's she's a great lady, man. She'd be a wonderful person to take to parties, and she would entertain, and she has her own bow shop, so she's a business owner. So yeah, she'd be a great person to marry. I would separate the two though. Where I go different is Daisy. Daisy's got that temper, man. She's probably a little crazy. She's just fiery, so she'd probably be the one that you wanna spend a little one night stand with. See, Miss Piggy, yeah, she's crazy, but for all the wrong reasons. You'd have a Fatal Attraction Glenn Close situation on your hands if you had a one night stand with Miss Piggy. She would hunt you down and she would kill you. And she's a frog beater. Poor Kermit he's in total battered spouse syndrome. He's always ducking from her.
He's always like dancing between one man and the next.
Yeah, and she's always like pressuring.
Max Kermit.
She's always pressuring
Damn
him to
it,
marry
Kermit,
her.
stop looking around. I'm sitting here trying to talk about Channing Tatum.
Yeah, she's mean, man. She's not very nice to him. She treats him poorly. She always wants to be the center of attention. And the other reason why I'd kill her is because she's a pig, so I would eat her. She's made of bacon.
Mm. I did not think about that plus.
Yeah, you gotta. That's an angle that you definitely. Duck not so good. Mouse definitely terrible. So I'm definitely gonna have to kill Miss Piggy and eat her. But Miss Piggy hot dog.
I got Miss Piggy chops.
So yeah, so there's our weird, twisted. It's a great question for the Geek Dad guys. Since we're very familiar with those three characters.
We think about this stuff a lot.
Yeah, all the time. So we're running short on time, so we'll, Phil, your last question.
Save for next week.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save it for next week. Phil had a question about the Dark Tower series, Stephen King's. So
And I am not knowledgeable about that.
we're not knowledgeable, but it did kind of open up an interesting topic. So we had a few other things we want to talk about tonight, so we will save that for next week, Phil. We will answer that. Thank you, though, for your two other fun questions. Thank you, everybody who submitted a question, as usual. If you want to submit a question and you never have, it's easy. Do not be intimidated. All you got to do is give us your question on the Facebook page or my Facebook page or Ryan's Facebook page, and it can be anything. It could be what's your favorite color, or who would you rather kill, marry, and have sex with. I mean, it could be anything you want it to be. So, thank you for sending us questions, and hopefully, if you haven't, you'll send us one. So,
Yes, and you get a gold star if you're the best.
yep, gold star if you're the best, and you'll get a shout out even if you're not. We'll still say thank you for sending us questions. So instead of a weekly topic tonight, me and Ryan decided to be kind of fun, and you know, I introduced rants last week on our my solo
I have to
expedition.
keep it short though, because it's
Nah.
getting late.
Rants don't usually last for a really long time, so I mean, I guess they can, but so we figured it'd be kind of fun to rant a little bit tonight. So we decided that in honor of the Republican debate going on tonight, me and Ryan were going to rant a little bit about politicians in general.
Uh, I think politics sucks. I'm just so tired. I know it's a bad way to start. I'm getting I need to gear back into
Okay, yeah,
my
well, that's fine.
tap into the
I
anger
will.
that I had
You can
earlier
go ahead,
tonight.
go ahead and tap me in. You can tap me in. I'll start.
Okay, ready?
Tap me in. Boom. You know
Okay.
what I'm tired of? I'm tired of the GOP. All right, Republicans. I consider myself a Republican. I see with I see with both sides of the party, but your debate is terrible. It's like watching two parents that both beat you fight over who's going to get to beat you for the next 4 years. I mean, it is awful. It looks like a bad reality show from a bad
Yes.
TV network that you would laugh and point at these people. I mean, Donald Trump is a cartoon character, for crying out loud. And I mean, I feel like Honey Boo Boo should be monitoring this debate. I mean, and the best part about a debate is they get here, and Democrats are, they're just as bad at this as Republicans are. But you have this debate where 4 or 5 people get up there and they just talk about the worst things about each other. And this guy sucks, and this guy's a douche, and this guy's stealing from old ladies, and this guy kicked a child once, and this guy kills dogs, and this one hates Bigfoot. And then at the end of the day, when whoever wins the Republican or Democratic nomination, like that same day, all these same people right behind him going, "We love this guy. He's going to be our next president. He's amazing."
Pick me to be the vice president now because I'll take
or
number
she's going to be
two.
a president, and then they just high five each other, and then they, for the party first, people. We got to support after you've just ran them through the mud and just trampled any good name that they might have had. It's despicable. It's disgusting, and we as a society and a people need a much better way to pick people to represent us than have them go into a Shark Tank it's like Thunderdome. They fight to the death.
Yeah,
The winner
then we
survives.
should have a Thunderdome battle. That way we'll get rid of all the old people, and only the young and strong will survive.
How about this? How about from now on these guys can no longer talk about the things they've done wrong and only talk about the things that they're going to try and do right. I want to know what they've done. I mean, yeah, obviously if someone's a terrible, horrible person and horrible things, it's going to come out. But for the most part, I don't care about who voted yes on this bill, that bill, and this bill. I want to know in the past. I want to know what they're going to do in the future. So let's try and turn this thing positive instead of just punching each other. And
Well, I think if they can make it so that they put term limits on the president, because FDR is basically going to get reelected forever,
mhm.
and so they got to put term limits on everybody. I'm tired of all these dudes that have been sitting there since before I was born, and like, really, what have you done?
Oh,
Like
dude,
you,
like how
you
about the guy
sat
from
around and you progressively got more and more farther apart because you're making $6 million on insider trading now, so you're completely stupid rich now, and
Well, how about the representative from South Carolina? He was like 90, his old 90-year-old racist
yeah,
dude. He
like
was
White
in
House.
office until he died. Yeah, congratulations. Your
I
state
think
still
same
had
thing
the.
for Supreme Court too. I don't think those dudes should be serving for life. I you got some. I understand that there's like the concept of the law, and there's, you gotta know like a lot of stuff, but you don't need to be on Supreme Court for life. All right,
No.
you just you get too ingrained and sit too far into something,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really want to even try and take a look at the other side or try and have a different perspective. You just harden on your perspectives. And I don't know. I'm
Well, yeah,
sorry, I lost all my fire from
it's
earlier.
okay, dude. It's okay, man. I mean, honestly,
I was
really,
like super pumped up to like rant about it, but now it's just like
and see,
I
and that's the problem. We have accepted. We get so frustrated with our current political system that we just say, you know
yeah.
what? I can't anymore. I can't because you bring it up, and then people want to argue and fight, and this gap between Republicans and Democrats has gotten so
Yeah, I mean,
wide that it's just
I don't mind
ridiculous.
having a civil discussion about stuff, but I mean, you don't have to say, you know, well, I hate so and so because he's a Republican. Well, you gotta have a better, you know, backup than that, and you can't just hate someone just because they have an R or a D next to their name.
Yeah,
You can
and
hate,
and
their ideology or what they're trying to do. I mean, there's so many people out there that are just so stupid and that
well,
they only vote for the party.
Well,
And
and there's a lot of people, and not just people who are stupid. There's a lot of people who are very passionate, and I get that. But you can't say things like, when we have a shooting, when someone mentions guns, if you're a pro gun person, you can't go, oh, see, look, they want to come in their helicopters and take, and send in the Secret Service to take all our guns, and then you got the people who are against guns being like, all guns need to be banned forever. There's got to be a middle ground. Like when we have these shootings, yes, we need better gun laws and better gun control. We don't need complete gun control. We don't need to get rid of all our guns. But at the same time, we don't need everybody to have access to an AK-47 either. So, there has to be a middle ground. And I think until everybody starts being able to talk about this civilly and coming to an understanding, but, that's not going to happen either until our elected officials can actually have a conversation without screaming at each other. You can't even get Republicans to talk to each other without screaming at each other. You can't get Republicans and Democrats to talk about it, without screaming at each other. And I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it.
well, and then you have the 24-hour news cycle that just all they do is perpetuate one side, and
Oh,
so they're
yeah.
playing at the bases the whole time. I mean, Fox News and CNBC, they both play to their demographics, and they both
You mean you mean networks that are publicly traded that rely on the rating system to tell them if they're doing a good job or not? News
yeah.
shows, hey, newsflash, you should not have a rating system for news shows because you're telling the news, not making it up and making people
They're not
angry.
news stations anymore. They're like Fox. I can't remember if it was Fox News or C. No, I think it was Fox News. That their actual only news shows
Dude,
are like 2 hours out of the 24
dude,
hours. Like,
they're propaganda networks is what they are. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
yeah, and that's why I don't even watch CM. I don't watch CBS or not CBS, but CNBC. Wait, no, CNBC is the stock. What am I thinking of?
Thinking of like CNN, NBC News, or not NBC News,
Yeah, the
uh,
one was.
Fox
What
News.
I don't. I get all my news from Al Jazeera just because they're probably the more fact-based news that I've found, and they do a lot of world stuff. So,
I get a lot of my news from John Oliver.
uh, yeah, John Oliver is the best for it.
I love John Oliver. If you're not watching John Oliver, watch Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's a great show. But I guess to wrap up our little rant here, we could probably rant. We could do a political show. If you like our political talk, we could talk about it. We're
Yes.
we don't have political sci majors, but we are people with children
I
who pay a
vote.
little bit of attention.
If you don't vote, you don't get to complain
Yeah,
about
vote.
crap.
Definitely vote. So, to end my rant, here's the two things I want to say. One, like Ryan said, vote. We have enough people who want to sit and govern the country from their couch, but nobody wants to get up and actually use their finger. Well, I guess not buttons anymore, but scratch off
Yeah.
on your little ticket who you should vote for. And if you're gonna vote, be informed. Don't just be like, yeah, this looks like I'm gonna circle this one, and I'm gonna say yes on Proposition 12. If you don't know what the Proposition 12 is, don't vote yes or no for it because you could be raising your taxes or getting rid of extra parking on the street and you don't even know it because you aren't informed. So get
Mhm.
informed, vote, read the little pamphlet. The U.S. government does a great job of sending you in the mail all the things you need to read. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
got
a lot of stuff.
pages and it's got words and you have to use your brain and look at it. So be informed, vote. be part of the solution. It's our country. We can all, make it the way we want it to if we actually stick together and get informed and understand and have discussions, civil discussions about what's going on and try and do what's the best thing for our country. Which brings me to the second part of my final, wrap up rant here is that can we please, for the love of God, start getting elected officials that we want to be president? Obama, in a lot of ways, whether you like him or not, has been really good for this country. We had somebody young, somebody passionate, somebody who seemed to care. Can we quit getting a room full of people that you wouldn't want to have a beer with, much less run your country, and see whoever, and just decide that, oh yeah, whoever fights amongst these five people and win is going to be our representative for our party? That's a terrible way to do it. It's a terrible system, and we need to change it, and we need to actually start getting people in there that we believe in, not just because they're popular or have a lot of money or have bad hair and
Yes.
ran celebrity
Your
shows.
fire shows.
Yeah, you're fired. Donald Trump, and not just that, if we as a country elect Donald Trump as our next,
If we get Donald Trump as president,
I'm
I'm gonna
moving.
honestly no, I'm not moving. I'm gonna start buying like apocalypse.
I'm gonna go buy a nice piece of property in Mexico, and we'll be doing the show from there because,
Bankrupt. It's like he bankrupted every other company he's had. So,
oh god, yeah, I'm pretty sure our relations would be
and
terrible.
the Democrats. I mean, and I'm not trying to point. We're not. I don't want this to be too
No,
one-sided.
this isn't an anti-Republican show.
This is bad in a lot of aspects, but at least they not dick faces. Like everyone.
No, we,
But
we we aren't necessarily Republican or Democrat. Like I said, I'm a Republican. I think
I'm a registered independent.
I'm starting my own
So,
party, but I don't know. We just want to see what's best for the country. So,
mm,
get informed. It's that time of year. We have about a year. Was it a year before
stop,
the elections?
stop regurgitating everything that you hear on whatever news channel or political person that you're a fan of. Have your own opinion. Stop spouting everyone else's
Yeah,
BS
and don't
over the.
don't read a headline on Facebook and take it as fact. Like I'm not
Mhm.
saying like this last Planned Parenthood thing. I'm not saying that it was good. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying I know the truth or not. But don't just look at it and say Planned Parenthood is killing babies and selling organs and take that as fact. That's exactly what they're doing. Do a little research yourself and make sure that if you're going to repeat that or share it, that you do know that's what has actually happened. So
And I think that 95% of what Planned Parenthood does is actually for women, like for STD testing and getting, their boobs checked for cancer and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So just because this much, I think it's less than 5% actually goes for abortion, that kind of stuff for people that have to take that option. I mean,
yeah,
so yeah, they'll shut down the whole thing.
and I get it. And I understand it's easy to feel passionate about something and say, "Oh, look, see, I knew all along that this place was evil." And I'm not saying they are or aren't. I'm just saying, me and Ryan are just saying, make sure you know the facts and be informed before you know, say what it is. We want to make this country
Well,
better.
not to get the facts though, but read someone else's opinion that is very much different from yours and
Hmm.
try to understand their perspective.
Yeah, and
I
that
think
is the
that's
best way.
something that people need to start doing.
And that is the best way that we can start having good conversations and maybe get this country back to where we want it to be. So, I believe that will end our political rant for the night.
Sorry, I was way fired up when
He
we started the
was.
show. I was because I had just got done watching it and I ate a half a tub of
Well,
ice cream because I was so pissed off while I was watching it.
and we were gonna kind of make it funny, and I think we got a little serious at the end.
I think I think you did a lot of letting things airing of grievances about our political system. So
Dude, you know what? I think part of the problem is I just listened to this. I forget his name.
that and
Martin,
you're
Martin.
old. I mean, we're
Yeah,
old now. We care about
we
stuff.
do care. I care about things. I listened to this podcast. Was it Mark Maron? He interviewed. I think it's Mark Maron. He interviewed Obama. It was a really good interview, and it got me all fired up about our political system. So just vote. That's what That's our recommendation of the week. Just go out and vote.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so real quick,
this is a long ass show.
I know. So real
So,
quick, we'll hit recommendations. What you should or shouldn't waste your time doing this week. Do you have anything, Ryan? You go first.
um, I think everybody should one time in their life have a beer, put a bunch of meat into a smoker, and throw in a bunch of nice wood chips and smoke yourself some meat for like 2 hours while you drink those beers. But that's what I did with my dad on vacation, and I got about 5 pounds of turkey, or not turkey, venison jerky, and yeah, it was fun. And I got a lot of tasty meats.
Very nice. Smoke
Recommendation.
meat, shoot a
Smoke meat.
deer, smoke it, and drink beer while it's smoking. That's a good recommendation. My recommendation this week is to go see Mission Impossible Rouge Nation.
Rouge Nation. Ah, I still got to see that, so I want to see it so bad.
No, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation went last week. Told you guys I was hoping to go and I have a review for. So just a quick spoiler-free review. It's a lot of fun. It's action-packed. It's why you go to see movies in the theater. Go see it in IMAX. It's not in 3D, thank God. So I believe if it was in 3D, your eyes would probably start bleeding and fall out by the end of the movie. It's got some amazing stunts. Tom Cruise is really strapped to that
He
plane,
did
people.
all his own stunts on it
He's
too.
really strapped to that plane. So no, it's a fun team oriented dynamic type movie. It's a fun spy movie. It's got a lot of cool stunts. If you like the other Mission Impossibles, you'll like this one. I didn't think it was quite as good as Ghost Protocol, but it's right there in that same ballpark. So if you like
Philip
Ghost
Seymour
Protocol,
Hoffman's hard to beat. Mm.
yeah, it is. But it's a great movie. Well, that was part three. It's right there with part three and four. That's all right. It's all okay. But no, it's right in the same ballpark as Mission Impossible 3 and 4 Ghost Protocol. I recommend it. Go see it. You'll take the kids. It's a fun family movie. It's a couple hours long and it's entertaining from start to finish. So Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. That's it.
Are we done? I'm
We're
tired.
done. We're done. Are you gonna give the thumbs? All right, here it comes. Ready? Subscribe to our Facebook page or like it. Subscribe to our
Subscribe,
YouTube channel.
like us,
Touch it.
give us that Facebook blue thumbs up,
Follow us.
poke me.
Vote.